Here comes the man.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Prediction Center. We got the man himself, he's back, the Colts fan, Manning. Johnny's back after a 2-week absence because of school.
I did better when I was actually not here. Taken from home.
Yeah, so what was your record this week?
Yeah, my record last week was 8-4. So considering all the upsets that managed to happen, especially the Atlanta Falcons losing, I was able to predict a lot of that. But hopefully I can do the same this week. Let's see what happens.
Michael, your record?
I think me and you both went 5-7.
Yeah, we both did. Disappointing. So you're clearly the front runner.
I'm the front runner.
I don't know if he's clearly because he's
not clearly,
pretty
but
bad some weeks.
Some weeks.
But I think overall, I think you've got the
last
edge.
2 weeks I did really well. So
yeah. So that being said, let's just jump in straight to week 10. We got the Bills in the Thursday nighter at the New York Jets. What do you guys have?
Well, this is one of those terrible games where it's a division game in prime time. Anything can happen. I gave the Jets a lot of credit because their defense is a lot better. The Bills, I still don't like them. They beat the Dolphins, but I don't think they're going to beat the Jets this week at home, so I'm going to go Jets on this one.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm going to go with you and your pick. I'm going to pick the Jets. I think that in like these divisional matchups, they're very key, especially at mid-season with the Jets and the AFC, that like last wild card, up with my Raiders, the Jets, and I guess somewhat the Bills going for it. But I think the Jets are going to come out on top, better defense, and I think McCoy's out.
Yeah. It's like I say, the last 4 weeks now, the Bills don't know how to play football this time of year. Yes, they did beat the Dolphins, but
that doesn't say a lot.
at all, if anything.
Yeah.
So, I think Jets take it. It's at home. Buffalo doesn't really stand much of a chance, especially if Shady's out. So
Jets across the board. Let's see what happens. Game 2. All right, so game 2 on the schedule is the Detroit Lions, who are miserable, visiting the Green Bay Packers, who are frustrated. There's a big difference there.
Yep.
What do you pick, Dave?
I don't think it's much of a contest. Lions are extremely disappointing this year. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with them. It's one thing after another with this team. They figure a certain thing out, and then something else bad happens. Packers, that being said, are off 2 really bad games, or tough losses, I should say. One that they kind of deserved to win last week, but I think Rodgers is pissed. Divisional matchup, it's in Lambeau. Packers take it.
Yeah, I think the same thing. Exactly. Lions are, the Detroit Lions. So we all know what they're capable of, going 0-16 if they wanted to. And if they set their mind to it, they might get a really good draft pick this year.
That's very true.
I'm going Packers on this one, easily, for the same reasons.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's a pretty obvious choice. I don't know what's wrong with the Lions. I really think it's like an organizational type of thing where this team just has kind of a curse of not believing in themselves, not having that mojo to get it done.
Just doesn't click.
Yeah, exactly. Just something about them, that aura. So I'll go with the Packers. Pretty easy pick at Lambeau.
All right, so again, Packers across the board, but that's why I play the games, right? Let's see what happens.
Yep.
Game 3 coming up.
Alrighty, so my division rivals now are facing up in Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. What do you guys got?
I'm taking the Cowboys on this one. They played really well against Philadelphia. They're not the best team ever, but I really like Matt Castle as a quarterback. I think he's struggled through a lot in his career. He just had I think 2 new kids, one in Buffalo and one in Kansas City, one in Buffalo. And then he got traded right away. So he's dealing with that, and he had to relearn the whole playbook, and they put him in hoping for a win. Tough loss in Philadelphia. I think though they're gonna come out really strong against the Bucs. Not a huge fan of the Buccaneers. I think they have good pieces. They're not quite all the way there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Cowboys on this one. They got more experience. I'm giving it to them.
I got the Bucs in this game. I don't see the Cowboys really doing anything without their starting linebacker Sean Lee, who's out yet again for his 7th concussion of the season. He's a pretty big difference maker. The guy's really good in coverage, smart guy, just knows field really well, and I really don't see how they're gonna stop Mike Evans and Jameis Winston, who are catching a bit of fire. So Bucs all the way.
Yeah, I'm not picking Dallas, even though I don't necessarily think that the Buccaneers have the edge. But I'm gonna give it to the Bucks just because of Dallas. So Bucks.
So we got a biased pick and we got a very well educated pick. But
Thank you.
let's see what happens. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Might be high scoring. On to the next game. All right, next game is the undefeated Carolina Panthers versus the very well defeated Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dave?
Look, I got my Mariota bias.
Mm-hmm.
They did beat the Saints last week, which was a big game.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, though, the Panthers are undefeated. But this is the Panthers' first road game in about 4 or 5 weeks.
In a while, yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to affect them. And I do think the Panthers are extremely overrated. They should not be undefeated. They're a good team. They deserve a very good record, but not undefeated. But I'm going to give it to them this week. I say Panthers take it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Mike?
I think the Panthers are due for a loss. I just don't think it's this week.
Mm.
So I'm going to go with the Panthers. Great defense. Kuechly's a beast. And Cam's catching fire.
In a rare turn of events, I'm going to break the trend and call an upset here.
Ooh.
The Tennessee Titans at home upsetting the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers, I saw them beat the Colts in the rain. I saw them beat Green Bay in some pretty terrible weather, not the best weather.
Yeah.
And I think they rely on that a bit. Teams that are not used to, just having that wet ball,
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff happening. And it's changed the games for them. But I don't think in Tennessee they're going to have that added assistance. And as you said, the Titans managed to keep Drew Brees in check, who came off of 52 points in New York.
Yeah.
And their defense was able to keep points off the board, as well as their offense was able to put them up, which is a big surprise for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a win for Tennessee would make our division interesting again.
Hope so.
And I think it's going to be a very interesting division this year. So I'm giving the Titans the win this time.
Right.
Upset special. Let's move on to the next game.
Next up, the Chicago Bears, who represent the great city of Chicago, are in St. Louis to face off against the Rams. Who do you have?
Well, first of all, let me just say how great of a city Chicago is in all of their organizations.
Fantastic.
As you regular viewers will know, the great city of Chicago produces nothing but the finest sporting teams, except for obviously the Cubs, the Bears.
And the Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks are great.
And the Blackhawks.
Blackhawks are fine. I'm going to pick in this game. This is a tough game for me to pick because the Bears, I went with them against the Chargers last week. Everyone called me crazy. But
not us.
Not you guys. But everyone I was talking to, they lost bets. That was the bane of their existence was that game.
Yeah.
But I do love these Rams. And now that they are adding Wes Welker, I don't know if he's going to be playing in this game. I doubt it. But if he does, that's Wes Welker. I mean, I hope he can find the stadium. But you know what? The Rams' defense is very good. Jay Cutler hasn't come up against super defenses recently.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if he comes up against this one, he might come up short. So I'm going to go with the Rams on this one, especially that they're in St. Louis.
Yeah. Michael?
You know what? I'm really torn about this pick because I could definitely see the Bears coming into St. Louis and winning it. But I'm really scared of the Todd Gurley factor. That guy could just take over a game. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go with the more, what I'm feeling more, which is the Todd Gurley effect. So I'm going to go with Rams running over the Bears.
All right. What do you think, Dave?
I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm taking St. Louis to take this one. Chicago, love the city. Blackhawks, crazy team. Obviously, I love my Cubs. But I think, like you guys said, Cutler isn't exactly built to beat great teams. The guy, in many expert opinions, believe that this guy doesn't even care whether he wins or loses as long as that paycheck hits that bank account every Thursday.
And I mean, he needed last second miracles for the Chargers, which is not saying a lot.
Yeah. So that Rams defense is good. That offense could be good. So I'm going St. Louis to win it at home.
All right. See what happens in the next game. Next game on the menu is the New Orleans Saints visiting the nation's capital, the Washington Redskins, or Native Americans, as I prefer to call them, in protest to Dan Snyder. What do you have, David?
Look, the Redskins suck. It's just, that's fact. That's not divisional bias. That's fact. We could all agree on that.
Yep.
Saints are coming off a bit of a heartbreaker. They've been riding a pretty good wave of momentum up until last week. I don't think the Redskins have enough to take them down. I say Saints take it.
What do you think, Mike?
I just want to make a comment. Have you ever picked any team within your division to win a
I
game?
picked the Cowboys week 1 versus the Giants. I picked them.
An interdivisional game where you had to pick someone.
I picked the Giants over the Cowboys once too.
Oh,
This is a telling sign of how you pick. Who are you picking, Mike?
I think, regardless of his bias, I think he does have a point. The Saints are just a better team overall. They have Breeze, stud, just a better team. So I'm gonna go Saints.
I'm digging into my personal experience here. Saints on 1:00 games. I'm not sure what their record is, but I feel like they don't win as many at 1:00. Also, the Redskins are at home. They're coming off a tough loss to the Patriots, but they showed good signs in that game at times. And I like Kirk Cousins. I personally like that guy. That being said, the Saints are the Saints. I mean, they could be lethal one day and not so lethal the next. It's all about figuring them out. I'm going to give Jay Gruden credit. I'm going to pick the Redskins on this one. Upset special.
All right.
Number 2. I'm going out on a limb here because I got the lead.
All right. Taking some liberties with your record.
Yeah, taking some liberties with the record. So let's hope the Redskins make the NFC East even more interesting than it already is. Let's see what happens next game. So by law, here in Canada, David cannot pick on this game because his team is playing in it. So we don't want to jinx his team, and also we don't want him to feel personally responsible for anything that would happen. That being said, we're still allowed to pick for his team. This game is the Dolphins, who are terrible, visiting the Eagles, who aren't doing too hot either. Who do you got, Mike?
You know what? I picked the Dolphins last week to beat the Bills.
So did I.
I really
I don't know what we were thinking.
I don't know. I felt like with Dan Campbell. I think?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he'd bring like a different
Campbell's chunky soup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that they would win, but I kind of I kind of like regret it now. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles for a much safer pick. They're rolling a bit. Bradford's playing a bit better each week. Their running game's getting going, and that defensive front's pretty dangerous. So I think that they're just the better team, and I think they're gonna come up with a win at home.
I think they're in Philadelphia, and I've never liked Ryan Tannehill. I picked them last week because of the Campbell factor. I think the novelty of the new coach is kind of wearing off, kind of like the Rex Ryan effect.
Definitely,
where he comes in, the defense that first day against the Colts looked like the new Legion of Boom, and now they're like the joke of Boom. Like it's not even close. So
the J-O-B.
I'm gonna pick the Eagles as well. I feel like this is gonna be that one game that just doesn't go our way, but you gotta pick one. So I'm going to Eagles just because it's a safer bet.
Fly.
That's all it is. Let's see if the Eagles can fly this Sunday. Next game.
Divisional matchup. AFC North. Browns at Steelers. Who do you have?
This one would have been tough, in my opinion, if they were in Cleveland.
Maybe.
But because the Steelers are at home at Heinz Field, Big Ben is back.
Is he?
And he's putting up big points.
He's actually he got injured
Again?
Yeah.
Aldon Smith.
This changes everything. This changes my whole pick. Okay, but they still got Mike Vick, right?
No.
Okay, hold on. So then I'm gonna pick the Browns. I'm picking the Browns on this one. The Browns are not a terrible football team.
You can't even say that. Not.
Yeah. It's like my brain is telling me not to say those words, but I really think the Browns can pull off a bit of an upset this week. I mean, the Steelers had a great game against the Raiders that went down to the wire, but the Browns, when they want to, they can win games. They don't have 0 wins. I mean, they won a few games, right? Yeah. So I think because it's a divisional game, they can do it. I'm going Browns. Another upset. 3 upsets.
Michael?
I don't know how you picked the Browns, but
I picked the Browns.
I'm going with the Steelers, even though they beat my team last week in pretty heartbreaking fashion. But I got to witness how great of a player Antonio Brown is. That guy is a monster. So I really don't see how they're going to cover him, because the Browns couldn't even cover Amari Cooper.
They're going to cover him by not covering him, and he's going to feel weird and off his game because of that.
Did he kick the punter in the face last time they faced off?
He just smashed him in the chest, flat out.
Yeah, so I got Steelers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Steelers too. They got D'Angelo Williams, who is playing really well.
Yeah.
Again, they got Antonio Brown as a beast. Yes, they're going to their third string quarterback, but he has game experience. So I think that's going to be enough to take them down. I see Steelers win.
Well, let's see who laughs first and who laughs last.
Black and yellow.
Next week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we come to that point in the segment where we talk about the most horrible team in NFL history, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sorry to all fans out there. Your team is worse than a CFL team. And that's
I don't know about that.
No offense to the CFL, but anyway,
Tons of offense.
that's another story. I'm not a big fan of CFL. Anyway, Jacksonville Jaguars visiting Baltimore to play the Ravens. What do you got, Dave?
Look, the Ravens, as we all know, have been beyond disappointing. It's been a complete disaster. No one knows what's going on. But that being said, the Jaguars have been that for the better part of 2 decades now.
Since their inception.
Yeah. So I think the Ravens are desperate for a win. They're at home facing a team that they know that they should beat, at least on paper. There's no reason why they shouldn't take it regardless. Ravens win.
I'm going to go with... I think this is a tough pick. I know the Jaguars pretty well from our division, and they're not an awful team.
No.
They aren't built wrong. They have a great tight end. They have a good quarterback, good size. Not the best decision maker, and their defense is more of a letdown than anything. But that being said, the Ravens D underperforming this year, and the Ravens offense is like the ghost of Christmas past, and I can't find it.
Sign Ray Rice.
Yeah, they probably want Ray Lewis to come out of retirement too. So that being said, just because I think the AFC South is going to be a really tight race, and I feel the Ravens, I feel they're going to almost take the Jags lightly. I think that's going to backfire on them if they do that. So I'm going to go Jaguars in another upset pick.
Wow.
This is the first time ever that I'm picking the Jaguars, and we're going to see if it pays out. It's true, it's not. But let's go Jags anyway. Let's say it is, and that's it. What do you got, Mike?
You know what? This is a bit of a tough one. I think this counts as a relevant bowl.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It's a pretty irrelevant bowl, yeah.
Okay, so, but with that being said, Ravens have disappointed me. I think I was one of the first advocates for them to
So was I. I picked
to
them
win
for the Super Bowl.
to win the Super Bowl. You know, like everyone's calling me crazy, and I guess those guys were
We're
right.
Super right.
Yeah. But with that being said, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Jags.
Wow.
I really like 2 guys on their team.
Yeah.
And it's not Blake Bortles. It's 2 of their wide receivers, Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson. Those guys are really good players. I'll give them that.
It's a lot of Allens.
What is that? The Allens.
They draft alphabetically. They don't care about the position.
Blackman.
Yeah, this is A.
Bortles.
Yeah, they just top of the list. And then they just go home.
Alright, but let's just say if Jags win this week, I think maybe Harbaugh time's up in...
I think so, yeah.
I don't know.
Be.
I mean, the Ravens have never been a knee-jerk team. No. They don't make knee-jerk reactions. Like right now, you see they're not moving anybody. They're not trying any stupid shit. It's really, I mean, that's what it is. They're a patient organization. And they know that Harbaugh brought them to a Super Bowl. I mean, he's not a bad coach by any measure.
No.
It's the guys aren't executing. So will they make a change of scenery?
Sometimes
Maybe,
you need a change.
But who's able to replace him? That's, I think, what they're going to look at.
Yeah.
And if someone better opens up on the market, they might make a move. Yeah.
Jim's
he
seems
back. Pretty happy in college football.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to come back. But
we'll see.
I think the Ravens, they're going to wait it out.
Yeah.
At least till the end of the season.
We'll see.
See what happens next week.
Alrighty, guys. So Michael's Raiders are hosting the Minnesota Vikings this week.
Graciously hosting.
Yes, graciously hosting them, allowing them into their humble abode.
Yeah, where they can play a big game of baseball if they want.
If they want, they could just move a couple seats.
Field is set up.
We don't have our dirt anymore since the baseball field.
Yeah, so, you guys finally painted the gold on your field, whatever. Anyway, so Vikings at Raiders. Who do you have?
I think the Raiders a bit more this season, just because they are a better team than they were last year. But the Minnesota Vikings are vastly underrated this year. I mean, people don't understand that their defense is the stingiest in the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, they're among the
top
least.
5. I think they're top 5.
Yeah, and their offense is not great, but their defense is so good that they can get away with that lackluster offense. They do a good job of running the clock with the run game. I'm going to give it to the Vikings just because of they play fundamental football this season, and they're getting away with
Zimmer's a good coach too.
He's a phenomenal coach.
They don't let penalties cost them a game. They're very disciplined.
Yeah. So I give it to the Vikings.
For me, well, look, Michael can't talk. It's our rule.
Yep.
Not allowed to give his pick. Even though he's been giving us some advice for the Vikings, it's weird.
I don't give advice. I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. I love my team.
So
I like the Vikings.
I give the Raiders 4 wins for the season. They're at 4 wins. We're a little bit past midway. I think they stay at 4 wins at least for this week. Vikings take it. I don't know if Bridgewater's playing with that whole concussion knocked out.
They're saying he should be good.
Yeah. So if he's there, even more power to them. Vikings take it.
Let's see what happens. All right, guys. So now it's time to choose the. I don't like this matchup just because. Let's be real for a second here. I don't think anyone likes the Patriots. I don't even think Patriots fans like the Patriots. I think they like winning. I get that.
Cheating.
But I don't think anybody likes the Patriots. We admire them. We wish we could play like them. We wish you could have 6'7". I don't know what size Rob Gronkowski is, and you could have a 5'2". I don't know what size Julian Edelman is, doing what he does. Everybody playing perfect football all the time. But anyway, the Patriots are visiting hell. The New York Giants, the bane of Tom Brady's existence. He's the kryptonite. He sucks the life from Tom Brady. I love Eli Manning for this. So it's an interesting matchup. It's a rematch of several Super Bowls. What do you got, Dave?
You guys brought up the whole divisional thing, but let's be honest, it is the Patriots. If this was a Super Bowl, I might throw my biasness out the window and pick a Giants win just because that might be the safer choice for a Super Bowl, obviously. But it's still regular season. Tom Brady is playing on all cylinders. Gronkowski's playing great. Edelman's playing great. That defense is playing solid. Everything about that team is just... It could be perfect. I mean, there's a couple of mishaps here and there. But, I mean, his stats might actually be better than 07.
Yeah.
When they had Randy Moss. Now they don't even have that receiver and he's playing better. So, I say Pats. I don't see the Giants, who haven't been that great this year, taking it.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, a lot of people like to bring up history, as you mentioned, with the whole Super Bowls and how they I think it's over the past 4 years, the only team the Patriots have not beat is the Giants. But I'm throwing that all out the window because in those years the Giants had a pretty solid defense, and a lot of people forget to mention that defense in those Super Bowls. I don't care what they're ranked in the regular season. I know during playoffs they played top-notch football. Yeah. So this year, not so much. Especially after that Saints game, I was definitely not impressed by that defense. So I think it's a pretty obvious pick. I'm actually gonna say Patriots in a blowout.
It's kind of like the Manning Bowl, where Peyton plays Eli and Peyton always wins when it doesn't matter. And it seems like Eli seems to only win when it really, 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 really matters. All my heart wants to say the Giants on this one. All my heart, but like you said, the defense. No one can solve Gronk. The guy gets open when he's double covered.
Yeah.
You can't answer that. Odell Beckham Jr., great receiver. But not, you got all these guys in the Patriots defense just doing their job, like they say. I'm going to go Patriots. It's so sad that I have to pick them for a 9th win, but it's going to...
It's okay.
You better get ready. They might go undefeated.
I'm pretty sure they will. I mean, like you said, the stats are even better, and the team coming off a Super Bowl has not had a team yet really challenge them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not seen a really close, down to the wire, who's going to win this Patriots game. I mean, they just know what's coming because they prepare so well for every game.
Problem is, people always play catch up with them.
Yeah.
They'll have a good drive, but they play a defense bend but not break. So people get field goals and they're like, okay, it's a pretty good drive.
Plus,
and they
it's that Bill Belichick thing of he'll win the coin toss and he's going to defer, and already he's won the game. He's not deferring because it's because he knows have the ball, do whatever you want.
I already know.
He literally makes you feel less than him immediately. So, you know what, let's see what happens, but I think we all agree Patriots are going to take this game.
Yeah.
Next game.
Another divisional matchup. We got the AFC West this time, Michael's division. Chiefs at Broncos. Who do you have?
Everybody knows how much I love Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I hate the Denver Broncos, but I love Peyton Manning. And I do watch some Broncos games when I can.
Yeah.
I keep Talib not playing.
Nope.
But that shouldn't change the Broncos team too much. I know Peyton is playing with a foot injury. Seems like a mild one. But he put up quite a few points against the Colts, which is surprising. Not surprising, but like refreshing almost. The offense kind of woke up.
Yeah.
Had some great plays, and he's nearing history. He needs just one play to beat the all-time record.
Yeah.
But he could also beat the record for wins. And I think Kansas City's a great team to do that against, especially given all the adversity they've been facing lately. The fact they're in Mile High, I'm giving it to Denver.
Yeah, I mean, I really, like I said, I've said this many times when we're covering Kansas City. If they had Jamal Charles, I would be more inclined to pick them, or at least make it tough on me.
He's a game changer.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not a really believer in Sharkandrick West as their running back, and nor am I a believer in Alex Smith. I am a fan of their defense. I think their defense is good. It's gonna hold Denver to like, I don't know, I'm going to say like 20 points, but I just don't see that offense.
Low double digits.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't see that Denver defense, who's very, very, very good. Scary good. Probably, I'd probably put them as the best defense in the league. I just don't see them giving up many points. So I'm going to say in like a really low scoring game, Denver takes it at home.
What do you think, Dave?
I agree with you guys. I think, although again, I love the Chiefs. They got Reed, they got Mac. But they don't have Charles, which is a huge game changer. And even when they did have him, they weren't the greatest team this year. They had a lot of issues earlier on. I think they'll pick it up eventually, but not this week. It's in Denver, like you said, that thin air. Broncos take it.
Yeah, all right. So I guess it won't be Shark Week in Kansas City this week.
Nope.
Let's see what happens. Next matchup of the 10th week is the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks in what promises to be a great primetime game. It's a divisional game, and it's two teams that are on pretty different tracks, pretty different paths.
Yeah.
What do you have, David?
It's a tough one. Seahawks have been a little bit disappointing this year. Definitely did not live up to the standard they've set for the last 2 years. Cardinals face some little bumps in the road here and there, but overall they've been pretty consistent. They've been pretty solid, like they've been the last 2-3 years with Bruce Arians. It's a primetime game. It's in Seattle. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I say Cards take it.
What do you think, Mike?
This is a really tough one. It's probably the toughest pick of the year,
This
actually.
is the toughest pick of the week, at least.
But you know what? I'm a believer in Pete Carroll. I'm a believer in that defense. Last year, even they didn't do this bad, but their backs were against the wall. People were criticizing them, and I believe they went either 7-1 or something like that, or like 8-0 in the last 8 games. Or like they lost like 1. All right, and that team just has a belief. They have that system in play. They believe in themselves. They're ultra talented. The run game's starting to pick up with beast mode, and they're starting to implement Graham a little bit in the offense. You know what? I'm gonna pick Seattle. Seattle's I think is just gonna come out with the win. Sunday night prime time. It's gonna kickstart their path back to the playoffs.
Well, I did a little homework on this game, and if I'm not mistaken, the Cardinals had a bye week last week, and Bruce Arians, when given enough time to prepare for an enemy, can do some serious damage to those people. His team is very well prepared. He's taken this Cardinals team to new heights. Last season, with that late season-ending injury for Carson Palmer, broke everyone's heart, I think. I think a lot of people saw them as almost destiny intervening last year, and then they were eliminated by the Carolina Panthers. I don't think he wants that to happen again. I think this is a big test for his team. This is the former Super Bowl champion Seahawks. They were in the Super Bowl last year. They won the NFC. And these divisional games are always super interesting in the NFC West. It is one of the most enigmatic divisions where things never go the way you plan it. That being said, I think it's going to be a very difficult game to call, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals on this one. I have big faith in Bruce Arians, and I think he prepared his team in the last 2 weeks. Let's see what happens.
Monday Nighter, we're on to Cincinnati, as the great Bill Belichick has said in the past. Texans at Cincinnati. What do you have winning it?
I think the Texans are about as good as old cereal. They're just they're stale. Their losses have become boring and predictable. They can't win at home. They can't win on the road. They got, who's their quarterback? I can't even name their quarterback right now. Ryan Mallett. They're back to Hoyer.
Mallett is being released.
Okay, well, great. So that being said, no quarterback situation. Run game, sometimes
out.
Sometimes so, he's out now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying he's out. He's hot. He's cold. He's yes. He's no. You know, he's a Katy Perry song. Defense, J.J. Watt, stop making commercials and start intercepting some footballs or something, because they need you. And on the flip side of this coin, you have the Cincinnati Bengals, who, in a division that people thought belonged to the Steelers or the Ravens, here they are, undefeated at the 10th week.
Yep.
Unbelievable. They've beaten some seriously good teams to get here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, can you pick the Texans? No. I mean, I'm picking the Bengals all the way on this one.
Michael?
Uncharacteristically.
I don't think this is an uncharacteristic call, though, because...
In my past. This season, it's characteristic.
I know. But, Bengals are undefeated. I think Tyler Eifert's one of the best up-and-coming tight ends. Yep. He's a very good red zone threat, and Texans really don't have any offensive weapons besides, was it Hopkins?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a really good player, but who's gonna pass him the ball? I'm not a believer in Hoyer, what they're doing on offense. I'm not a believer in their defense, really. So Bengals.
I think Hopkins was great in Silence of the Lambs. Great movie.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals just like you guys did. There's not much to say. It's Texans are beyond horrible this year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they had an okay situation going on. You saw them finally coming up, being somewhat of a threat to some teams, making games competitive.
They're gonna compete. Yeah.
J.J. Watt this year has been. I mean, he may have the stats, but he's been irrelevant. I mean, what he doesn't matter. Bengals firing on all cylinders. A.J. Green, beast. Dalton, beast. Their defense is playing very well. How can you not pick the Bengals at this point?
So, since we're at the midpoint of the season, or a little bit past it, we've decided to redo our Super Bowl picks.
Mostly because of how bad we picked them.
Yeah, I mean, we all thought Baltimore was gonna ride the high that was last season and avenge their loss to the Patriots, but in classic Patriots fashion, everything's going up New England, and everything kind of went down the tubes for the Ravens.
Putting it nicely.
So, in retrospect, we want to make another mid-season prediction just to adjust our choice.
Yeah.
So, David, who do you have? AFC, NFC?
Look, I think AFC, the obvious pick here is the Patriots.
Yeah, I thought Raiders. No.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Please God. Wins somehow.
Please God, I just want to make the playoffs. Please, just playoffs.
Anyways, so yeah, Patriots from the AFC. From the NFC, it's a bit of a tougher one. Mm-hmm. Look, I think maybe my Eagles could pull it off if we could get all things firing, but I'm going to be realistic here for a second, and I'm going to give the NFC to the Cardinals. And give them their well-deserved Super Bowl appearance, which they've been longing for since their heartbreaking loss versus the Steelers. And for a winner, I'm going to give it, though, to the Patriots. Because you can't stop them this year. I don't know if they're going to go undefeated. I think they might lose a game towards the end. Especially, they might want to rest up Brady. Yeah. I know Belichick is not big on that. But, you never know what could happen. Especially, late game comeback versus a team. But Patriots are my Super Bowl winners this year again.
I think in the AFC, obviously, having first-hand experience what the Patriots can do, it's all New England. Yeah. I didn't think they'd be that good this year. They've proven that they're even better than they were last year, and they won the Super Bowl. So I mean, it's scary. Mm-hmm. NFC, I look at all the division leaders, and I think, are they the real deal? And I don't think a lot of them are. I mean, the NFC is very weird. The Packers aren't leading their division right now. The NFC East is kind of up in the air. The NFC South, I mean, Carolina is undefeated. They seem to play well at home, which could be a factor in the playoffs. It really could be, because I think they're guaranteed home field unless the Atlanta Falcons surge. And I mean, the NFC West is the thing that's really throwing me off. You have Arizona leading. I mean, they could be a legitimate threat, but that division also has the St. Louis Rams currently in second place and the Seahawks in third.
Mm-hmm.
So any one of those teams, St. Louis probably less, but Arizona or Seattle could easily do a lot of damage in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Tough pick. I'm going to say just to shake things up because, I mean, the offense is so good on Arizona and their defense is not bad. I'm going to give it to the Arizona Cardinals for the NFC.
Super Bowl
Yep.
pick? Winner? Who's going to win?
Oh, Super Bowl winner?
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm going to think the Tom Brady ends his career with 5 rings and calls it and then comes back for another season because he doesn't have enough success. He just needs more.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Patriots again.
Michael?
It's very sad.
I'm very. I'm trying to like look. I was just looking there while you guys are talking. I'm just trying to look at who is gonna come out of the NFC. And like you said, there's no clear cut. And you got the NFC East, or as I call it, the NFC Least. Who
guy.
anything could happen. But I just don't see any of those teams.
Well, if the Eagles offense could get going,
wait a minute. Could it be? Now hear me out here. This is a bit of this could happen.
Off the record.
If the Pats are this good, could we have another 0-7 on our hands? Could the Giants win the NFC East and slay the dragon that is the New England Patriots for a third time? I'm planting the seed now. People watching, I want you to share this video. We need the Giants to rally. We need them to save us from the Patriots. Please.
I'm not being saved.
Please. Yeah, you're a sacrifice. Please.
No,
anyway, who are you going to pick for the NFC?
I'm glad you brought that up because the past 2 weeks I've been thinking about that because of how bad it was. But, as I've said before, the Giants have depended on that great defense to shut down the great Tom Brady.
Yeah.
All right. And you mentioned the Eagles. You said if the offense gets going. If the offense gets going, the thing with the Eagles is that when one of your units plays well, the other doesn't do their job at least to its full potential.
They're like early computers.
So I'm definitely going to pick the Pats out of the
20
AFC.
years.
I'm definitely going to pick the Pats out of the AFC.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Super Bowl rematch in the Seahawks. I see them going on a roll. Absolutely.
Not the other one.
They're gonna,
one Brady won.
Yeah. They're going to absolutely kill everybody on their schedule. And I'm saying it from now, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
They're going to win the Super
You're
Bowl.
out of your mind.
They're winning against the Pats and they're getting revenge. And you know how they're going to win? By running the damn football. That's how they're going to win.
You know what? I actually see that happening.
They're going to win.
Kind of a story.
They believe it. They believe in themselves.
I don't want Marshawn Lynch to raise a Super Bowl again because he's kind of a big head. But he's very talented. So you know what? He's a nice guy.
So we're all planting. He's planting a last year Super Bowl rematch, 07 Super Bowl rematch, and I'm saying the Eagles could really start getting going.
I said Pats, Cards, and then Pats win.
Yeah, look, I'm saying Pats, Cards too, but I'm hoping for the Eagles, and I'm saying if the Eagles could somehow pull it off, it's an 04 rematch, so we all got potential rematches.
Potential rematches here.
So let's see what happens, guys.
Let's see if Brady can put a ring on each finger. No.
Michael Jordan style.
Yep. So we'll see you next week for Week 11 predictions.
Yeah.
And we'll give you our records then.
Yeah.
Till then, 3SB out.